Hello and welcome to Miss Leigh Ding Fortunes, where drag meets the divine, where the cards never lie, and where every single week I read a beautiful celebrity's tarot to find out what they've been through, what they're going through, and what's about to happen. Our next guest is a cultural firework. You'll know him from winning Netflix's Big Flower Fight and the star of BBC's Big Proud Party Agency. He's a curator, a creative, and a bloody good time, and he is a massive champion of queer joy. From founding Hungama, the UK's iconic Bollywood night, to shaping fashion, art, and nightlife. He's entrenched in the RuPaul's Drag Race UK universe, and he's built platforms for queer, South Asian talent and turned representation into a full-blown movement. He's bold, he's brilliant, he's beautiful, he's our fashion-forward man of influence. Please welcome my next guest, the unstoppable, the unforgettable, Ryan Lanji!
Thank you for having me, Miss Leigh Ding.
Thank you for being here. I mean, I'm so excited to have you here. Like we've just said a little bit, we've crossed paths a little over the last kind of year, but It's nice to actually sit down with you.
I've always been a fan of your work. It was actually like work that I love to see every time I see you on stage. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
So some of the queens you get force-fed. I never got force-fed you.
No, that's true.
So you inherently are not misleading. You are everything that it says on the tin, and it's great. I'm really grateful to be here and sit with you.
Oh my God, thank you so much. I mean, if that's not an introduction, I don't know what is. Thank you. Actually, do you mind if I take this off? It is absolutely boiling in here.
Go for it.
I feel like I'm going to reveal like a Cher turned Sharon Osbourne turned Ruby Wax.
Oh, wow.
I know, I'm a human disco ball.
I feel like I can see myself being reflected.
You can see the moon, the sun, and the stars now.
Exactly. Oh, you look gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
The lines and the curves and the reflections, oh my.
A very casual tarot reading outfit.
Yeah, I know. Just throw it on a Monday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Have you had any tarot readings done before? What's your kind of experience with this world of spirituality?
I myself am Hindu, Canadian, Fijian, and Punjabi. So
Great.
That is a remix in itself. My Hinduism actually links quite beautifully to numerology, and numerology links to astrology.
Yep.
And so I've never really taken a vested interest in learning everything about zodiacs, astrology, and tarot, but it just kind of has through experience and osmosis just infiltrated my life.
Yeah.
And so I remember when I was a kid, I used to meet my friends and then ask them what their zodiac was. And then I'd always talk about people's zodiac based on all the friends I knew who were like that.
Love that.
Eventually I was like, whoa, I can see these similarities and I feel like I'm really good at this. And I never really made it a profession, but I was just if I meet someone and find out their moon, rising, and sun, I can really give them a harsh word.
I love that.
I found myself in some weird situations where I met this opera singer in a Cafe Nero once, and she basically started
where all opera singers hang out.
She just sat at my table and she was just oh, London is just so crazy. You just never know how lonely people are until someone has a drink at the bar, and then just started chatting at me about this stuff. And I was like, this place is empty. Why are you sitting here? And then she literally just started talking to me. And then by the end of the conversation, she's like, you're my brother. He died in India.
Oh my God. So spirituality kind of draws itself to you.
Yes. Thank you.
I love that.
Yeah. So face reading, energy reading, the stuff that I really love. Give me a drink or a line of I'm really good at it.
Well, we've got it all here.
Yeah.
I'm joking. I am actually quite good at guessing people's star signs. This is going to go really tits up, but I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah, go for it.
So again, I've only met you how many times? Twice?
Maybe 3 now.
3. This is our third proper, time to time. And actually the first time I met you, I thought you were a Capricorn, but I don't think you are anymore.
Oh, interesting.
I think you give so I think your main star sign is Leo.
Yes.
Oh my God, it works. I'm a real witch. I really am.
Yeah, hocus pocus.
But you also give very Virgo energy, which I think is, and which is funny because we were just talking about someone before who is a Virgo. I think, but you give a lot of the nicer parts of Virgo energy.
Yeah, true. I'm a Virgo rising.
Are you actually?
Yes.
I am a witch.
I know. What sorcery is this?
This is genuine. We also we say I never do a background check on the people that I'm about to read because it does screw up the tarot readings a little bit. So.
Yeah. But this is crazy because we're actually making deep eye contact.
Yeah, literally. I thought kind of your main was Leo or Virgo, but then I was like, no, you have more of that Leo in you.
Which I do think is a nice combination because Leo's showman, entertainer, likes to be the center of attention, obviously has an ego complex, which you need to work on. The Virgo sort of gives you a little sprinkle of self-doubt and perfectionism.
Exactly.
So just there's something in my mind that's always telling me I'm not good enough.
Yeah, the paranoia.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God, that's incredible.
Yeah. What's my moon?
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, is there a Scorpio there?
No.
No.
No, but wait.
We should have quit there.
Pisces.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Which makes me an emotional wreck during full moons.
Right, my darling, before we get into the tarot reading itself,
Which I'm very excited about.
I'm very excited too now. I've got 3 crystals sat here beside me.
Brilliant.
And I just kind of wanted you to pick one kind of like to kind of help guide us through this reading, one that kind of just calls to you the most. It can be the prettiest one. It's just about your intuition, like whichever one you kind of saw and was like, that's the one.
Right now, I want to speak through my heart. So let's go with the rose quartz.
I love that. There you go, my darling. You can hold that for now.
Thank you.
Do you know much about the rose quartz?
I know it's like a love stone.
Yeah.
It's meant to calm you and give you a grounded sense of love. It's really good for healing.
Yes.
I know. I usually like to sleep with it.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
I usually like to put it in my butt. No.
Yes.
I like to put rose quartz under my pillow.
I was gonna say it's a really like nice like way to ensure you get a restful sleep.
Yes.
It is really just about bringing peace and kind of like healing to you. I think it's a really great like stone to have if you've been through like heartbreak,
Yeah.
or if something like has gone wrong and you just it's kind of throwing you off course a
course.
little bit. It's like a great way to kind of reground you back into like the center of yourself.
Yeah.
But it really is just about kind of like you keeping your peace and finding that self-love.
Oh, that's really sweet.
I
And
know.
that resonates right now.
Great. We've picked our crystal.
Rose
We've got
quartz.
the rose quartz.
Mhm.
And did you have like any intentions when you came in? Was there anything you were like, oh, I really hope to find out this? Or were you just kind of like open to anything?
It's the end of the year. 2025 has been really intense. I
Yes.
started the year, I think, quite like melancholy because like my life had changed quite drastically and I was like acclimatizing to it. It was not a situation that I wanted to be in, but
Yeah.
I was like learning. Love was there as well. I just put my head down and worked really hard.
Mhm.
And I feel like I've accomplished some of the most incredible things considering what transpired to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was slowing down and then I just sped up this year and then I kind of had like a bit of a car crash.
Yep.
And like mentally, I know things are moving,
Yeah.
but I don't know what to do next.
Okay.
And so the year is starting, which is exciting, but I'm full of excitement and terror.
Yeah. I mean, this year has been wild. And I think when you are at such full pace, and then you do crash, like the
Yeah.
candles burning out at both ends. And it's
True.
really hard to kind of like see outside of the fog of that
Yeah.
sometimes. And you, especially when you have been going at such a pace, you don't want to slow down, but like that is necessary at the same
Yeah.
time.
I think being someone who isn't from London, I don't ever know if I truly belong here or if I was how long I'm meant to be here.
Honey, I think the people who have been raised and grown in London don't know whether they belong here. That's the curse of London, isn't it?
No, it's
like
so true.
constantly trying to find what your place is here.
With the changing times of social media and culture and like everything's moving so fast. And I'm like, sometimes I get exhausted and sometimes I get inspired.
Yeah.
I always say that London will never let you do what you want to do. It'll only let you do what you're good at.
Oh
I'm grateful that it's given me such an amazing 15-year run.
God.
But right now I came here because I'm like, maybe I should ask you or the cards, maybe you
Yeah.
and the cards,
Maybe.
whether London and I are in love.
I love that. Yes. I mean, I always say like tarot is, whilst it's a really spiritual experience for a lot of people, it's not so like, speaking to ghosts and like, I don't have your ancestors speaking to me from behind. It's
Yeah.
very much about energy and therapy.
Yeah.
I think kind of like the conversation of tarot like brings out things within yourself that you forgot were there. And like maybe just me reading the cards like helps you tap into those places that you've closed off or that you've forgotten about. And that in itself is what kind of like brings it to life.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely more about like this connection between us and just kind of like what I see for you, but then what you take away from that is not necessarily what I've said,
Yeah.
but there's something there that might like spark a little flame that you go, oh my God, that I felt that 8-9 years ago and I forgot that
Yeah.
that was something that I've had within me.
Oh, I really appreciate that. And
Yeah.
I think being someone who had an entire life that existed before London, like as you grow and exist, you realize that there are not a lot of people who knew you before you landed.
Yeah,
And so you end up splitting there's a duality to you.
100%.
And I think with people coming and going in life, I mean like mortally, I do use the cards to connect with people. I do feel really connected when I like try to speak to my ancestors and stuff. So I think it's really interesting to have that potential in this room right now with you
Yeah.
for everyone to see and then also channel it through you.
Yeah.
Because if you're a medium, I'm a small.
I love that. If that's not the tagline, I don't know what is. That's so good. If I'm a medium, you're a small. Well, on that note, shall we get into it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. This is actually very exciting as well because we have our own Miss Leigh Ding Fortunes tarot deck.
Oh, wow.
So this is the first time we are breaking a new tarot deck.
I love it. I love it.
So actually, if you want to, would you give them a little shuffle for me?
Yeah, of course. I'd love to do
put
that.
your energy into the cards straight away.
Okay, so let's part them and then one this way. Let's give them a shuffle. Oh my God, I'm on camera now. Ooh, this is exciting.
We're in Las Vegas.
I know, exactly. Blackjack. Oh, okay.
Amazing.
There you are.
Thank you. We're going to do a little past, present, and future
I'm excited.
readings, which is exciting. I think, like you said, when we come to the end of a year, there's a real like spiritual like gate that closes and kind of like the one next to it opens. And so it's exciting to kind of like see kind of where you come from this past like year or so, or maybe even further. Yeah. Where you are right now, and then to see kind of like what is ahead of you.
I'm very excited to get that trifecta for sure.
I never really believed in like the cards jumping out before, but over the last like year, the more I've been doing it, the more I'm like,
ooh,
when a card wants to be told, it will jump.
I do have a deck of cards that I use, and whenever I like light a candle for someone who I want to get guidance from in another dimension, sometimes they really do pop out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't discount them. Like,
no,
I think you know when it's real and when it's not. You know when you're just like,
you know when you're forcing it.
You know when you're being like Butterfingers, and you know when like your nan's trying to tell you something.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a difference between like pick up 52 and half of the deck just falls out your hand, and when that one card just jumps onto the table.
It's so true. Ooh.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, wow.
Well, this is quite a hand.
I know.
I love this. This is. So I also love reading tarot for people who are familiar with it. Yeah. Because when you see the cards yourself, you're like, oh god.
I know. It's like when you get Death of the World, and you're like, or the Tower, and you're like, no, not again.
I did not want this.
It's the first of the month, and you're giving me the Tower.
It's so true. It's also really interesting because I think everyone reads it differently.
Yeah.
And like, I'm really now kind of excited to see if what I'm about to say resonates with you, or if it's something that you would have thought for yourself as well.
Yeah. Well, I trust you, and I'm really grateful to see it through your eyes.
No, I'm excited. I'm really excited. So, and also if I say anything and you're like, can I ask something deeper about that?
Of course.
Please do. So we've got the Three of Swords. We've got the Two of Swords upside down, and we've got the Empress, which I think the Empress is just a beautiful card for you anyway. But we're going to go past, present, and future here. So kind of like the Three of Swords to me is, the swords are generally around like communication, your thoughts, challenges, battles that you may have had. I think it's really interesting that the swords are in a heart, because it feels like, to me, maybe this past like year or so, I mean, we've kind of talked about this a little bit, but it just kind of reinforced this idea that maybe you've been in a space where challenges have faced you more valiantly. Like the battle has been much more kind of like within your realm of knowledge. Yeah. And so you've kind of like felt like you've had to kind of fight things a lot harder. And I feel like the people around you haven't maybe understood that as much as you would have hoped. Like there seems to be a sense of like miscommunication around maybe like some of your like closer friendships that you've wanted to feel have like stepped forward with you, but they haven't necessarily done that in a way that you would have.
Yeah, I do agree with you.
Feel like that would have aligned.
I think that resonates for sure. I think there's been a lot of internal understandings of like myself and my shadows, and like trying to communicate that to people, and being like misunderstood, and having to grapple like my sense of reality and what that means.
And that's exhausting. Like that kind of like feeling like you're constantly having to explain yourself to people who you would have hoped just understood is a real kind of like challenge in itself. And it makes you question whether like your communication style is too much, or if it's not enough, and how you kind of like work with that to help those people understand. Yeah. But also it's really important for like, I think also the Two of Swords being upside down here, in your present, which like the Two of Swords is again around balance, but like there seems to be an imbalance here. Like there seems to be something that's not quite like weighing up. So maybe I don't necessarily think it's around you and how you're dealing with things or how you're trying to communicate them, but they always say people in our lives are for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Yeah.
And maybe some of those like friendships or kind of just like could be colleague relationships are kind of like separating for a reason.
Yeah.
And maybe that will come to fruition soon as well.
Yeah.
There seems to be also a lot of like, I think you in your entire life have always felt like you've needed to over explain yourself or like, you know, being queer, which we both know is not easy. And with as someone with so much kind of like different cultural backgrounds, like that adds another element. And so I feel like you've always had to feel like you owe everyone an explanation for who you are. And that's really difficult because we grow as queer people into new people every kind of like, I think we have like certain phases through our queer life and that person, in my experience, like dies off and this new person is born. And so if you're constantly trying to like explain that and give people a reason to understand, you're only ever digging your own grave further and further, I think. I think sometimes it's important for you to just stand in the knowledge that you are who you are and people will either get it or they won't.
Yeah,
like,
of
you
course.
don't need to give anyone the justification for who you are. And I think maybe in your like younger life had a lot of like negative experiences with like people not understanding who you were, and you may be feeling like you changed yourself to fit their needs rather than kind of like growing into your own.
Yeah, this is hugely on point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like growing up South Asian and queer, I just never told anyone who I was.
Yeah.
And I learned at a very young age to withhold information. And so in order to get a reaction or get acceptance, and I grew up with quite a traumatizing household. Like my mom was quite like narcissistic and my dad is like quite an addict. And it was one of those things where I was always just trying to balance that.
Yeah.
And then when I extradited myself from the family and moved to London, I was like, okay, I need to assimilate. So I just started to code switch and just become what people wanted me to be.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know what I wanted to do with my life.
No.
Because I just literally came here with like 3 suitcases and some money.
Yeah.
And then
a suitcase and a pocket full of dreams.
Yeah, I was in a KFC with £10,000. Like it was really weird. I remember being in Whitechapel being like, this is the beginning of the Monopoly board. What am I doing? I was 23 and I was like, I don't know who I am. I remember like hearing about this place called Dalston Superstore that was opening. And I was like, maybe I'll find my tribe there. And like every time I met people would either leave because they're no longer here or they move out of London. And I was like, I don't have anywhere else to go.
Yeah.
And so I just sort of tried to identify myself, but I never really sat with myself and asked myself what I liked.
Yeah.
I'd like what you'd like.
Yeah.
Because it made me a part of your world.
Yes. I think that resonates with so many queer people as well. Like, but I think there is a real power in like being able to acknowledge that. And I think a lot of people still don't understand that that's a part of like our culture as queer people is like, you know, constantly trying to fit the mold. And actually once you realize that mold is not for us, the power that we have there is existential. It's crazy.
Yeah. And even in the worlds that we like live in, like I work in fashion, art and culture, and like in the art world, I can like a painting, but it's not the best artist.
Yeah.
But like how much conviction do I have that I actually like that? And how influenced am I to change my opinion?
Yeah.
And like even in fashion, like when you work in the fashion industry in London, like people will tell you very quickly that you're not fashion enough.
Yeah.
So you are like climbing.
Girl, as a drag queen, we're talking.
You're
you know, it's like
with the entire landscape of drag race in the world and stuff like that. Like queens are constantly told like, oh, you're not commercial enough, or you're not a Rue girl, and all these things. And like it can really like it can eat away at who you truly are. And then the annoying thing is everyone just says, just be yourself. Who is that? Who am I?
Don't you think we've been trying to figure that out for the past 35 years?
And so I think like with
I'm 21. I'm 21. Sorry.
Are you? Oh my God. I'm being read by a twink.
I'm a twink.
Yeah, no, that's really, really powerful. Like I think I'm at an age now, 27, on TV.
Exactly.
But
the Botox says it all.
I just feel like I'm trying to really sit in who I am. But people who knew me from the past were like, who is this person? Why are we finding out about this now?
Yeah.
And then a lot of people were like, we didn't know this about you, or we didn't know that you were enduring this. And so now I'm just like, I just want to stop
Yes.
performing.
Yeah.
No masking.
It's so
no
freeing.
mask for mask.
It's no mask for mask. Hashtag.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting because, like I said, we do have the Two of Swords reversed for kind of like your present card.
Yeah.
Which does, it kind of to me speaks a lot about your own like intrusive thoughts. And
Yeah.
I think, you know, after a year of like going at the pace you said you have, no wonder you've kind of come to the end of this year just feeling a little flabbergasted and like in your head. And again, spending our entire lives explaining who we are, we can't even explain to ourselves what we're doing or who we are.
Yeah.
That only kind of beats us down a little bit further.
Yeah.
But I think it's really like, there's a real powerful sentiment around the Two of Swords that I've always kind of like linked to, which I think is, and I think, again, for you in the present moment, like these intrusive thoughts are only going to lead to like the next calming phase.
Yeah.
Like it won't ever get worse than where it's at now for you.
That's so powerful. Thank you for saying that.
And I think you have generally quite a peaceful aura. And I know like when all of those internal thoughts are barbaric, like a lot of people do naturally give out a more peaceful exterior.
Yeah,
But
totally.
I think for you, there is a real sense of giving more than you need to give.
Yeah.
Is over.
Yeah.
You've like really stepped into like this fully realized version of who you are for right now. I'm not saying that won't change in the future, but
Yeah.
I do get this sense that like you are like, you know what, if you don't get it, you don't get it, and that's okay with me.
That's so beautiful because that's how I feel.
Good.
I currently in this exact moment that this is happening, I feel like I am shedding chosen family.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's sometimes the most important people
Yeah.
to shed.
and I find it really sad because like some of these people I never wanted to leave.
Yeah.
And like I feel like I am just done trying to find things that I miss in people that don't know that I'm finding it in them.
We always say as we get older as adults, like our friendship groups get smaller, our chosen family gets smaller. But it is really like there is a real sense of grief when it comes to those things because you work so hard at finding those families. And again, you came to London with basically nothing and just kind of like wanted to, and so bringing all these people in is hard enough. And again, constantly trying to put yourself into those different molds and situations, and you've spent years doing that, to now get to a place where you no longer feel that need does naturally mean that some of those people are going to kind of like shed away.
Yeah.
But you know, I've got different friendship groups and different people, and I always kind of do like a audit where I'm like, oh, I've not spoken to this person in a year, I probably should text them and see if they want to hang out. But sometimes it's just like, actually, what we don't have that. There's no purpose in that anymore. I'm just feeling a need of my own because I think I need to. And actually, my life is not worse because I haven't spoken to them. It's actually, it's constantly kind of going up. And I think it's really important for you to acknowledge that small is not always bad.
It's what you do with it.
Size does not matter.
I agree. I think it's interesting, like when I'm someone who is quite gregarious as a Leo, very particular as a Virgo, and such a doer. Like I create culture all the time, so much so that I don't even realize I'm doing it. Like my friends are like, what do you mean you're like starting an art exhibition, then doing a finale party for Drag Race, and then you're like throwing a queer Bollywood party, and then you're DJing somewhere in Paris? It's like I literally do everything, and I never stick to any one thing. Maybe it's my neurodivergence, but finally when I get to a point when I want to rest and I want to just do nothing, I can't people please. I can't be there for people. I need to like become a husk of myself.
100%.
Which is, I guess, like an ADHD trait as well. But I feel like people don't understand it.
Yeah.
And also I've been on such a rat race to get to this point that I don't know how to stop.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to just be.
Yeah.
So some of the people who are closest to me are like, you just need to chill.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how to. Like, I'm not distracting myself with work. Work is all I know.
Oh my God. I think again, like I resonate a lot with that. Even, you know, you have a day off and you're like, I'm just going to sit on the couch and watch Netflix and watch like a series right through it. And like half an hour in, I'll be like, right, get my diary. What am I doing tomorrow? How can I kind of like, and you're just constantly, or I'll go, I'll go and get some bits of the house and I'll do this. And and then before you know it, this like day of rest has turned into like a much harder day of work because you're forcing yourself into like keeping busy.
I envy people who wake up and like go to the shop and like go get something repaired or fixed or like tinker away at some sort of like hobby.
Some
home.
project.
I'm like, I do that as well as like take care of my dogs, as well as be in a relationship, as well as like do a shoot tomorrow. Like I have so much that's happening, but I don't know how to stop because I work best when I'm doing 10 things at once.
Yeah.
And I can't like calm myself down. And people are like, you can't sit with yourself. And I'm like, I can sit with myself, but if I sit with myself and I'm in the wrong headspace, it feels like it's crumbling.
Oh, I fully get that. But I think that's why what's really exciting from the kind of these two sword cards, you know, your past and present. We have the Empress.
Yeah.
Which for me, it feels like a real ambition card. Like it's the card that you want to get pulled, especially kind of like comparing it to the other two.
Yeah.
And I think for you, like what it's telling me for kind of the next phase of your life is a real sense of like nurturing yourself.
Yeah.
Is like being able to process things in a much more loving way in how you think about things, and making sure that you take the time not to rest in a way that we see everybody else rest, but in a way that like works for you, in a way that makes you step backwards and can see things in the way that only you can see them, and still take a moment to appreciate all of those things that are happening and coming to fruition and all the things that have happened. But I think it's really important to see that from like a really calm and loving space, even the things that didn't work out, even the things that you fucked up on, even on those mistakes that you still think about to this day that happened in, you know, 2018, is to kind of like take heed over the next year and like look at your life as an entirety and see it from like a loving mother's eyes.
Yeah.
You know,
that's really sweet.
I think there's, you know, I didn't know that about your family, but I think when you come from like a difficult home, you don't always look at yourself in a loving way.
Yeah.
So I think the next kind of chapter is about loving yourself and looking at yourself from above, from like a loving mother's eyes, and that will be a really beautiful thing for you, I think.
It's so funny that you say that. Oh my God, I need a cigarette after this. I literally said to myself last week that I'm going to start to remove the mother figures in my life, because I keep trying to replace someone that's no longer there.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I don't need them. I need to just be that for myself.
Yeah.
So it's really funny that you just said that.
Yeah, I think that's a really beautiful thing for you to recognize, because we do seek that in other people, and you have all the capabilities of that. You are a loving person. You know all the things that you've done, what's brought you here today, what's, you know, made you win, you know, a Netflix TV show, you know, what kind of like has
Not
led you
even
to
a florist.
do, you know, what has led you to do all these incredible things. And so for you to kind of like, and there is a real spiritual thing I always try and do for myself, like when I'm journaling, is to like, it feels like I'm watching myself from behind and I'm kind of like guiding myself through like a loving tone, like, because we're the hardest people on ourselves.
No, totally.
You know?
You're
so
absolutely
like,
right.
when you're like trying to be kind to yourself and in your head, you're going, you're a piece of shit and you've done this and done that. Like to be able to kind of like have that ghost of yourself behind you going, no, but actually look at that. And oh my God. And look at how you got through that. And that was wrong. But hey, look at what you've learned from that. Like the whole like shift and dynamic of how you see yourself changes. And I think after constantly trying to fit yourself into other people's lives and feeling like you are in like, you know, burnout mode, the way you're going to kind of like proceed and like more success is going to come to you next year, because it is like your kind of like journey in London and your journey into like everything that you do is not over, and it's only going to kind of like grow and grow. And I know this is really weird because I know you did this years ago, but like the Bollywood queer night scene, Hungama. When I see you, I feel like that's something that's not over yet either. And I think you have such an important place in that community. And I think that will be a really good, strong focus for you as well next year. I don't know if that's something that you've thought about as well. But I just think for you, aside from all of the physical stuff and all of the work and all of the relationships, the biggest thing you're going to do for yourself next year is oh my God, this is the most cliche sentence I'm going to say. The biggest thing you're going to do for yourself next year is love yourself. And talk to yourself in a way that, like I said, a loving person would.
I think you are very in tune with kind of where I'm at. I feel like I'm becoming my biggest cheerleader, and I feel like for the first time I'm seeing a full cycle of Ryan Lanji. And now I'm like, wow, okay, cool. Like that's what you did. And now you've done it twice now. And this is your third year going into it. How are you going to do that and be your biggest fan?
I don't want to get emotional, but I think there's like, we get to a place in our adult life. And I think when we do this, when we're in this industry as well, everyone's like, oh, you just want fame. You're hungry for fame. You're chasing this. No, we just want to matter. Like we spent our entire lives trying to find a place to fit. And, you know, as a 21-year-old man,
I'm 27.
and 27, like we still read the news. We still see the things that are said about us as a community. We still see people trying to like, you know, take away our rights and our existence. And at our ripe ages of 21 and 27 feel like we're still fighting for a place in a world that is not made for us.
Yeah, of
And
course.
so actually we just want to matter. And so we're doing all this to do that for ourselves. And that's a really powerful thing.
Yeah. I think what's really nice now, I guess, with my age, which I will still say is 27, I'm realizing that I don't know what being a queer elder looks like. And like I've come here and I've just been like, okay, cool. I want to be at the coolest and best places and be a part of everything. But now it's almost like culture has been put in fast forward where things are happening so quickly that I completely have lost appreciation for what I've done because there's something else to do.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, slow it down. Where do I want to be? Where will I go where people will respect me, where people remember me? But because I know for a fact I've been there for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
And like I don't need to be there still.
No, that's
right. But then with that, I guess that impetus to actually be involved and that commitment to be in that room. Like what I say to TikTokers and influencers is like, y'all are here because you got followers like last week.
Yeah.
But I've been here for 15 years. So I will see you at the next event.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like I don't know how to be myself as Ryan.
Yes.
Like who is Ryan in London as a human rather than Ryan as like this double barrel events coordinator extravaganza, all
completely.
that stuff. Like I don't know how to spend time with him and I want to know what he does.
Yeah.
So I'm loving the slow life.
Yeah. And I think, you know, when I talk about like this nurturing yourself and slowing it down and taking heed and like, you know, having all those thoughts, they don't have to be sitting in your bedroom for 2 hours at a time. It can be like, you know, when you're on the tube thinking about where you're going next, rather than pulling out your phone to look at the agenda, you know, you like taking a moment to appreciate what's about to happen or, you know, like what got you there. And there's just those, I think, little things that you can do for yourself. And I don't know if you do journal or if you're like a big person of like self-reflection, but like even just like in that moment, the gratitude that this is that, you know, from that boy 15 years ago sat in a KFC, you know, with some money in a suitcase, and like and now you're going to an event, you know, with kind of like hundreds of like influencers and celebrities, and like you are not only like attending that but belong in that and are a part of that for a reason. Like that's a real you've defeated a lot of the odds, and it's really beautiful to kind of like hear the journey and to know that like it's continuing.
Thank you. That's really sweet. I feel like being present is something I'm actively doing.
Yeah.
I've started to journal in Chat GTP because I sometimes feel with my overthinking, I'm quite manic, and like no one knows that I'm like that because I can jump on any call and do anything. But like I've noticed that like I have to like shut down those voices and then get to work.
Yeah.
And so I've just been like chronicling what I'm doing. And the other thing I'm really proud of is that I'm learning to have routines and rituals. And so like I made a promise to myself recently that I will go to yoga 3 times a week because this one weird pundit in like Brook Lane told me that like if you go to yoga, you will be able to access your mother's prayers. Wow. Yeah. And he was like one of those roaming little pundits who are just like, I can see your future.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've ever met them.
I imagine that'll be me in about 15 years time. So well, I think that was a very
I think it's really beautiful. Like right now my past has come up in a very chaotic way. And I'm trying to deal with it. And I've been trying to deal with it, but it's something that you can't forget because it builds you.
100%.
I'm in the middle. I do feel like I'm at a crossroads in my life. I'm like, do I stay? Do I go? What's for me? What do I leave? And I'm not, I'm for the first time, I'm not scared. I'm literally like trying to figure out what is best for me. Yeah. Because like only I have to live my life and I don't want to force anyone to do that. Yeah. And I also don't want to, in 10 years from now, be like, I should listen to those cards and just like turn left instead of right.
Is there like a more specific, maybe not yes or no question, but something that you just kind of like some inspiration on? Or is there, I mean, if there is a yes or no question, I can see what I feel from the cards.
I do have a question. It's not really director specific.
Great.
But I would just like you to, I'd like to repeat the question in my head. Yeah. And then have you pull a card if that's okay.
Sure.
Because I don't really feel like I can articulate what it is. I would just love a card to pop out.
Oh, I do quite enjoy it when there's like a very vague. Yeah. Some people are very specific about what they want to know.
That's Wands, isn't it?
It is.
Oh my God. They always remind me of Lord of the Rings.
So we have the 5 of Wands. Okay. Which is an interesting card. The 5 kind of like typically resonates with like challenges and maybe some hardships. But I am kind of like seeing this in like a way of like creativity. So I don't necessarily think you're challenged in any way in like being creative. I think there's an overwhelm of like creativity that you've got of like, where do I put my focus? Where do I put my passion? Am I spreading myself too thin?
Yeah.
Is there a focus I should be focusing on?
Yeah.
And I think the kind of like first part of this next year for you is going to have to be around like the organizing and maybe like taking away a couple of things that maybe aren't at the top of that priority list and being okay with putting them aside for another year. Like, I think maybe you're a little bit like me in the beginning of the year. You go, by the end of this year, I'll have done this, and this. And actually, maybe that's not the right way to go about this new year.
Yeah.
Maybe it's about going more with the flow and being able to progress in a more kind of like natural way.
Yeah.
And I think, focusing your energy and ambitions in more kind of like refined ways will kind of like see the success happen quicker.
Yeah.
I definitely see, I mean, it's been proven anyway that whatever you put your hand to is successful in some way, and maybe not always in the way that you expect. But I think you have such big dreams and big ideas in so many different areas that is what maybe brings you back to the reverse two of swords a lot, of like feeling the imbalance and feeling overwhelmed. So maybe just refining that and like pulling back on a few things will kind of like get you there faster.
That's incredible. I was saying to myself in my head, I was like, maybe this will be my disappear. Because like, I feel like it's nice to just take a step back and recalibrate and see, like, just make sure everything is fine tuned. Like, for example, like, make sure everything in the car engine is working before you start the car again. And so like, that's like the metaphor I have in my mind, where I just kind of feel like I want to take a step back and just make sure everything's in order and then start. Yeah. Because nothing's going anywhere.
You can't drive without the engine.
Yeah, no, exactly. What's an engine?
My God, look at us two talking about cars like real boys.
We can do it, Betty.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. It's about organizing is key, getting all my ducks in a row. I think I've been running really fast, and with my mindset, it's all very chaotic.
Yeah.
And people are just like, wow, this is really crazy, but you did it. And I'm like, I kind of want to slow down and know exactly what I do.
Yeah.
And what's next.
Well, because also I think that helps you appreciate what you've done. Like, if you're constantly going at a chaotic pace and like maybe just things happen to fall into place in the right time, like actually when you do put your ducks in a row, and then you can actually see how all the hard work that it's taken to get there. And it does give you a new sense of appreciation and like, oh, fuck, I work my balls off to get here. And
True.
That is sometimes all you need as well, to feel like, oh, I have achieved this. Ryan, it's been such a pleasure.
Thank you so much. You've been so informative.
Thank you.
And not misleading.
Informative and not misleading. There we go. Where can people follow you? So just to see if this comes true.
I am everywhere and nowhere, but if you want to see my posts regularly, you can follow me at Ryan Lanji. That's RyanLanji, J for Jurassic Park. And you can see all the nonsense that I get up to.
Well, listen, you don't have to be a psychic to see how beautiful this human being is. Honestly, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I adore you. And I'm really, really grateful that you did that.
You're a dream. And I'm really happy you were here. I love you.
I'm 38.
And I'm 35. Well, I don't know about you, but that felt like the most beautiful, empowering therapy session. We will be back next week with another celebrity star to see what's about to happen in their lives. Thank you for joining us. I've been Miss Leigh Ding on Miss Leigh Ding Fortunes. Night.